Hi, grade fives. Happy Wednesday. So I'm just adding a little message at the beginning of this video to explain why I really need you to send in your work today. So today's math, I know some of you check it at home and you don't send it in, and that's completely fine. We are entering assessment season. So that means I need to see work from you once a week. This week, I'm picking math, and today's math is the one I want to see. So you're not on your own. I'm going to go through most of this with you. There are going to be parts, though, where I'm going to leave you to try it on your own. So if you could, once you're done, send me a picture. So take a picture and send it to me on Teams, Class Dojo, email. Teams and Class Dojo are best. Email, things get lost in my email, but if that's all you got, then go for it. So Teams or Class Dojo, please send me your work. In addition to that, I have provided you with 2 Flipgrid codes. If you could scan the Flipgrid code and take a video of yourself solving the problem that's there, that would be awesome. Now, if you don't have access to Flipgrid, don't fret. Your work today will give me some information. I might need to set up another way to check in with you. Flipgrid is the easiest for all of us. So if you scan the Flipgrid code, and that's in the grade 5 math team, I will post the codes, and in your work packet for this week. So if you scan that Flipgrid code, it'll take you, remember you can make a video. I just want you to make a video of you solving this problem and talk through your steps, explain what you're doing. Okay, and then you can submit it to me and you're all done. That's all you have to do. So today for math, I'd like to see these pages. Take a picture of the pages and send them in, please. I'm asking for them specifically this week as they're part of my assessment plan. If you're having a problem submitting your work, send me a message and I will help you. I promise. Okay? So take a picture of your work and send it to me. I also have the Flipgrid. So a picture of your work and the Flipgrid would be very helpful. Now, if you can't get the Flipgrid done today, I totally understand. Maybe that could be something for Friday. So this week, at some point, there's only 2 questions on the Flipgrid, so there's 2 different codes. Each one is just one division question. One is dividing by a 1-digit number, and one is dividing by a 2-digit number. Okay? So I want to see what you can do. If you're thinking, I don't know how to do this, that's okay. Don't stress. Do your best. Show me what you can do. Do your best. I'd love to see it. I can't wait to see it, and I will help you. So if it's something you really don't know how to do, it's important that I know that. And so that we can make sure that you learn how to do it, right? So don't stress, but please send me a picture of today's work specifically, okay? Today's work is important to send in, thank you, and send me your Flipgrids when you get a chance. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to start going through your math with you. Let's switch to the camera view. All right, grade 5, let's get going with this math for today. So today I am not doing every single question with you. I am going to do the daily math with you. I will do 1 division and 1 multiplication, and then I'd like you to try it on your own and send me a picture of your work, okay? Because I think we practiced the steps enough that you should be able to do it on your own. If you're really stuck, you can send me a message, but I think you can do it. All right, or do your best and send me a picture so I can see where you're at. Now, look at the shapes, choose flip, slide, or turn. So looking at this face, did I flip it, did I slide it, or did I turn it? I turned it. It's turn. Number 2, name 2 quadrilaterals. Okay, there's a few. That's just something with 4 sides. So a square has 4 sides. A rectangle has 4 sides. A trapezoid. I'm wondering if I spelled that correctly. I'm just going to check. Trapezoid. Yeah, I did. Okay, trapezoid has 4 sides. And also a rhombus has 4 sides. There are more, but I'm just going to name those 4. And I also spelled rhombus correctly. Go me. Okay, let's move on to number 3. How many lines of symmetry does this letter have? Well, there's X. Lines of symmetry, I can do one that way. I can do one that way. So it has 2 lines of symmetry. Classify the following pair of lines. So remember, lines can be parallel, they can be perpendicular, they can be intersecting. These 2 are parallel. They do not touch. Imagine railroad tracks. They are parallel. Parallel. I'm really struggling with my spelling today, so it's L-L-E-L. Parallel. All right, on to the next one. It says complete. Okay, so it's telling you to figure out these angles. Now, here's a tip. The angles in a triangle will always add up to a total of 180. Does not matter the triangle, and you'll get into this in high school, but it will always add up to 180. There's an entire part of math called trigonometry, and it is dedicated to studying this mathematical phenomenon. But basically, in a triangle, if you add this angle, and this angle, it's going to be 180. So to figure out what this angle is, we just need to know what these 2 are together. So 140 plus 20 is 160, which means that this one would also be 20 degrees, because 20 plus 20 is 40, plus 140 is 180. Okay? Nothing to worry about. Oh, look at this. The measure of the angle is 20 degrees. And the type of triangle is isosceles. I have to look up how to spell that. Isosceles triangle. So I'm really struggling with spelling today. That's okay. So an isosceles triangle is one that has 2 lines, at least 2 lines that are the same length. And I'm going to spell it I-S-O-C-E-L-E-S. It's an isosceles triangle. It's a word I don't use often. I always think of sausage. I don't know why. All right. Tuesday. So it's saying to divide 7.9 by 10. Now, when we're dividing with a decimal by 10, we just move the decimal over 1 place. So it's going to be 0.79. Number 2, 37 times 86. I'm going to let you do that. You can figure that one out using whatever strategy works for you. You can do box window, you can do partial products. This one is on you. Same with this division. And I'm about to go over the steps of multiplication and division below. This is an extra practice for you. So you're going to divide 4,386 by 2. I know you can do it, so do it. The next one, write 1009.88 in expanded form. So 1000 plus 9 plus 0.8 plus 0.08. That's all it is. And I know decimals, expanded notation, expanded note form is not new to you, but decimals are. So I totally get it. Now, which of the following fractions is equivalent to a quarter? So for this, you guys, we've done a little bit of this where you're comparing fractions. We could draw them out. Now, you look, which one, it's going to be something with an even number on the bottom. So 2/3, it won't be 2/3. Okay, so it has to be something with an even number. So let's draw 2/8. So I'm going to do this in a rectangle. And there's 4 pieces. There's 8 pieces. So 2/8 looks like this. And if you think about it, 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. 2/8 is the same as a quarter. And I'm just going to draw it bigger on the side so you can really see. So here are 2 chocolate bars. They're the same size. This one is divided into fourths. And this one is divided into eighths. If I color in 1/4, it's the same as coloring in or shading in 2/8. Oh, I did that whole thing and you couldn't even see. Okay, well now you can see. So here's my 2 fraction bars. There's 1/4 and this is 2/8. Do you see how they're the same? So 2/8. All right, now I'm gonna go through go through just one of each of these with all of the steps, and then I'm gonna let you do the other ones, okay? Because I know you can do it. So long division steps. So here I have 9 and I'm again, they have these awesome grids for you, which is great. So you're gonna do 1 with me and then you're gonna do the next two by yourself. And just your best try, it doesn't have to be perfect. Send me a picture and show me how it goes. All right, 9 goes into 4, 0 times. 9 goes into 44. Okay, well, I think it's not 4 times, it's 3 times. 9 times 3 is 36. I subtract to find the difference. The difference is 8. And then 9 doesn't go into 8, so I bring down the 2. 9 goes into 82 9 times. 9 times 9 is 81. I subtract. There's a difference of 1. There's no more numbers to bring down, so it's 39, remainder 1. Now you've watched me do a lot of these. We practice this in class. I know you might be thinking, but I don't know what to do. You do. I want you to try, okay? I just want you to try. I'd like to see, I actually would really like a picture of this and your multiplication practice. I want to see how it goes. So whether or not you you should send me the whole thing, I would like to see your division and your multiplication today, okay? So do your best and send it to me, and then I can help you if you're really stuck, if I can see where you're coming from, where your work is. So try this one, and then go through the steps. I just described them. For this one, you go 5. How many times it goes into 1? 0. How many times does 5 go into 14? Oh, 2 times. 5 times 2 is 10. Subtract, find the difference, then bring down the 7. I know you can do it. Okay, I want you to try. Now let's do some multiplication practice. And I am going to be using partial products as my strategy because I think that's the one most of you use. Remember, you can also use box window. You can use Grandma and Grandpa's way, whatever is working for you today. Okay, without any further ado, let's get going. So I start by multiplying by 5. So I'm going to do 66 times 5. 5 times 6. Well, 5 times 6, I think, okay. 5 times 6 is 30. Then I go 5 times 60, which is the same as 5 times 6, but just with a 0 on it, so it's 300. Now I move on to 50. So I'm multiplying in that 10 spot. So before I even start, I put a 0 there. 50 times 6 is 300. Okay, and because it's 5 times 6 with a 0 on the end. Now I'm doing 50 times 60. I'm doing 2 zeros because it's something in the tens place and something in the tens place. And then I write 300. Now, if this is confusing you and you want to do box window, please do, but please show me that that's the strategy you're using. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 3. 3 and 3 is 6. And 3. So 3,630. Or sorry, you're not supposed to say and. 3,630. Now you are going to do the next ones. You've got 94 times 11, 72 times 31, and 81 times 65. You're going to do your best, okay? Take your time, do your best. If you need to use box window, if you need to use partial products, Grandma, Grandpa's way, however you do it, I need to see your division practice and your multiplication practice today. Those are the two things that I absolutely need to see you do on your own. So if you can't do it, do your best. Don't get frustrated, just do your best and send me your best and we will work from there. All right, on to the other side. So this one is called representing hundredths. So this diagram represents hundredths. There are 10 rows of 10 squares, making 100 equal pieces in all. When we represent hundredths in numerical form, the number 100 is the denominator, like this. So this is how we're going to start learning about decimals. We're going to start learning about hundredths. So that's where you take up a whole number and you break it into 100 pieces. Not too bad. So all it is a fraction. So today we're going to just write each fraction in numerical form and word form. So we're going to go through and we're going to do that. So the first one, 5 100ths is 5 hundredths. Now let's, not 5 hundredths, 5 hundredths. So I know that's confusing. Now let's look here. We know each of these is a group of 10. So let's count. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So it's 60 over 100, or 60 hundredths. Hundredths. All right. I love when I say that. It sounds hundredths. I'm really enunciating it. Now this one, okay, I could count every single one, or I could know there's 100 squares and 2 less than 100 is 98. So it's 98 hundredths, 98 over 100. And then I just write 98 and then I put a dash and I write hundredths. Mrs. Oak's favorite word to say today. Now, I am going to do one more, and then I'm going to have you do the rest. So when you're doing them, all you're doing is you're counting the squares, you're writing that number over 100, and you're writing out the name, just as we have been doing here. So I'm doing one more with you, and the last 4 are on you. You can do this. Okay, so remember each full row is 10. So when you're counting these, you can count by tens. You don't have to count every little square. So you go 10, 20, 30, 40, just like that. This is 10, 20, 30. This one has one row of 10. So it's 10, and then I'm going to count my ones. 11, 12, 13. So it's 13 over 100. 13 100ths. And I can write that as 13 dash hundredths. Okay, so you're going to go through and you're going to count these and put them as a fraction. Every single one is going to be over 100. They're all out of 100. You're going to count how many, put them over 100, and then write the name. Okay, on to the next page for today. So it's tenths and hundredths. I love the way I'm saying that. Tenths and hundredths. So we'll go through this together. So we already know how to represent tenths, but let's do a quick review. So tenths we practice with other fractions. It's just something broken into 10. But let's look here. So let's practice 6 tenths. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I color them in. And since it's out of 10, I have 4 that aren't colored because 6 plus 4 is 10. So 6 tenths. My next one is 3 tenths. So 1, 2, 3. And I shade them in with my pen that is not made for coloring, but that's okay. I love it anyway. And then I go to my next one, 5 tenths. So I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I shade it in just like this. So that's all you're doing. It's just tenths. But we know that 10 and hundredths are kind of in the same family. So now let's work with tenths and hundredths together. Represent the fractions and write each one in numerical form. So it says to shade 8 tenths. All right, I shade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll shade all of that in. And I write 8 over 10. Now it says shade 14 hundredths. So I go, well, I know I have a group of 10, so I do the whole row of 10. And notice how 1 or 10 hundredths, one is like one row of hundredths, is the same as 1 tenth. And I go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I write 14 over 100. And I'm going to do the next one, and then I'm going to let you do the next 3 by yourself. Okay, so it says shade 9 hundredths. So I know 10 is a whole row, so I'm going to shade a whole row, just minus 1. So I'm shading the whole row, but I'm stopping here. And the fraction is 9 out of 100. Now I want you to do this one, and this one on your own, please. You can send me a picture of your work. I would love to see it. Now I'm going to move on to this one. It says, now let's work with tenths and hundredths as equivalent fractions, okay? So suppose that we have a piece of paper that's divided into 10 equal sections like this. Let's shade 3 of those pieces in, 1, 2, 3. But let's suppose that we change our mind and we want to have our paper in 100 equal sections instead. We could draw some horizontal lines to go from 10 sections to 100 sections. So do you see how all 3 were shaded in, and all they did was go across and make horizontal lines. And they did a better job than I did. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I didn't do anything. I didn't change the amount shaded. I just divided it into 10 pieces again. So 10 pieces across and 10 pieces down. So what fraction of these are now shaded? Well, we know that these were tenths, okay? But when we turn it into hundredths, you've got 1, 2, 3 rows of 10. So we have 30, let's count, 10, 20, 30. I have 30 pieces out of 100 shaded. And it says this means that 3 tenths and 3 100ths are equivalent fractions. Okay, so this is equal to this. 3 tenths is the same as 30 hundredths. Okay, and that's going to be something we're going to explore in the coming weeks. And it'll start to make you understand what decimals are, which is very helpful for you when you're doing money, trying to figure out things that are money or parts of a whole. It's something that's very handy in life. So we will start working on that next math, actually. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you back here on Friday for your next math video. Thank you so much for following along, for checking in, for showing up. This is important, and you're doing a great job. Okay. I'm going to stop talking now, but just a reminder, now you need to send me your work. So before you forget, take a picture of it, send it my way using Teams or Class Dojo, and I will be very happy to see it. And remember, there are 2 Flipgrids there for you at some point this week. Just scan the code, record yourself, and make sure you click at the end. So once you take a selfie, and then you press, I think it's next or submit, make sure you do that last step. Otherwise, I don't get it. Okay, so go through all the steps until it'll say, congratulations, you've done it. Don't close the Flipgrid until you've done that. I was able to make a Flipgrid just using the browser on my phone. I don't think you need a special app, but if you do want to download the Flipgrid app, it is free. All right, have a fantastic day. Thank you for all your hard work. Again, I will see you on Friday for more math.